some point I would want them to sit there and go, she's really smart. Like, wow, and I didn't go with that energy today at all. I didn't go with that, I need to prove that I'm the smartest person in the room. I just went with, I want to be the best listener in the room. And that was a massive shift.
Welcome, especially to our new Joy. Does anyone have questions, a burning question that's on their mind? Joy specifically, I do want to open it up to you first because you're new. So is there anything on your mind right now?
Nothing specific that I can think of. I've actually did a bit of a kind of brand unpack with someone today, and it really helped having gone through some of the videos and training. I think the biggest lesson so far has just been to listen and to ask lots of questions, and I don't normally do that. I'll normally dive in and like give loads of ideas and opinions, but actually just sitting down, listening and letting them unpack was actually really powerful. But no, I mean, I'm brand new. I've only been here for like a week, so yeah, just here to listen and learn. So thank you.
What is it that you found so valuable about switching to listening and asking a bunch of questions, as you say?
Because I think I've always gone into things with my own ideas, and actually just listening to my clients' ideas and perspective. And whilst he was unpacking it, I could see kind of like fireworks going off in his head going, I've never actually thought of that before, but actually that's really powerful. And I hadn't actually thought, and I kind of was talking to him about, I think he'd always built his business and his brand over serving himself. And I actually said, well, are you the ideal client? Would you spend $500,000 on a house like that? And he was like, no, not at all. And so he actually unpacked who his ideal client was. And then he realized he'd actually built his original branding for himself rather than his ideal client. So we kind of unpacked that, and it just spurred loads of ideas on that were all coming from him. And I just sat there going, okay, yeah, okay, cool. What about that? Okay. So yeah, it was really powerful. And I think I would have led the conversation more around my ideas, and he led it all around his, which was really cool.
And did he share any feelings about having been able to do that with you at the end?
He said that he had learned more about his business in our 2 hours of talking this morning than in like 14 years of running his company. So, and he was like, this is the best money I've ever spent. Like, I feel like I know more about my business now than, and I was like, I haven't really said anything. Okay. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, I haven't really said anything. Like, okay, cool. But I learned loads, and I didn't go with my ideas, which I normally go, I'm an ideas person, and you know, I get like super creative, and I didn't do any of that. And it was actually far more powerful. So yeah, it was really cool. Like, I totally did everything I wouldn't normally do, and it was really powerful. So it was really good.
Sounds like a great testimonial right there for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be really cool. And yeah, just the approach has been completely different to what I would normally do. So yeah, really powerful. So thank you.
If I see that on your website, like, yeah, that your man saying like, I learned more in 2 hours than I have in 14 years with you, I'd be like,
yeah, cool. Completely. So, and he booked me off a recommendation for someone else who I did their branding, and I feel like he's going to get such a better experience than the original person that recommended me. Not that they got a bad experience, but yeah, he's already sort of going, this has completely changed how I'm looking at the business. This is amazing. So yeah, really cool. But I'm literally just at like the beginning of this whole journey. So I feel like super hyped about like where it's all going to go, because I'm literally right at the very beginning.
Well, congratulations on the results that you have, the wins that you're already seeing, and for putting into practice so early what you've learned, because it's hard to not give the ideas. It's hard to just sit there and listen and ask questions. And even when we ask a question, it's hard to sit there and listen to the answer. So great job for doing that right away.
And another thing that you said, I recorded the session rather than taking notes. And I think I would normally get lost in taking the notes and normally get lost in, you know, diving into all the ideas there and then. And I didn't do that. I said, listen, do you mind if I record the session? No one else is going to see it, but it really helps me to play it back, and I'll take notes when I play it back. And so I was just completely focused and present and not. And so I literally did the opposite of what I normally do, of what I thought was the right way to do it. Like, so that was powerful.
Amazing. Well, congratulations. And I look forward to
Thank you.
hearing what else happens along the way. So, and what is next with him? What are you doing? What else?
Yes, I'm doing kind of logo design and colors and typography and all that sort of thing. And then we're going to meet and I'm going to kind of talk to him rather than do the whole ta-da moment. I'm actually going to show some different ideas and get feedback and then kind of go back again. So I've added like an extra step. And normally I think the way my clients are with me, they trust me 100%, but actually I'm quite excited about not saying, this is the right thing for you, have it. I'm actually going to say, okay, so these are the ideas. What are your thoughts? What do you like? What don't you like? I'm trying to get a bit more guidance from him so that there's more buy-in, because I think that would be more powerful than me just going, this is yours, go run a business. So that's the next step is I'm going to unpack some ideas and then get feedback, and then we'll do a final kind of run.
Exciting. That gives more, like you said, ownership and buy-in to they feel like they're involved and that their opinion and viewpoint matters, and that it's not solely on the expert, the perceived expert, or it's on you to make that decision, but they feel an ownership in that too.
So that's again a different step to what I would normally do. So it's cool. I'm really enjoying just doing things differently, and I'm kind of a bit self-taught. I've kind of found my way doing this because and got good at it, and people have liked what I've done. But this is the first time I'm actually kind of putting a bit of theory and a different, rather than just doing my instinct of going, oh, you can fix it, you can do it, make it happen. Actually trying to have a bit more of a strategy about unpacking it and seeing him process it and get excited is, and he's like super excited, and I haven't done anything yet. Like nothing's happened, but he's like over the moon. So
well, something did happen. It happened in him, right? Even though there wasn't maybe a deliverable to see, something happened within him. So fantastic work.
Yeah, cool. So thanks.
And so doing something new and different, do you feel any pressure with this job, having to, like, I don't know, live up to a certain standard, or oh God, can I provide the results that I haven't, tried to do yet, or whatever? Are you feeling any sort of pressure given the newness and the difference of what you're doing?
No, I'm actually feeling more confident, and that might be a bad idea, but I'm actually feeling a lot more confident. I feel like if I'd done it my usual way of going in there all guns blazing, going, you should have this and you should have this, people love it and people are into it, but I actually feel like this is going to be far more powerful. And even though I haven't actually formulated any concrete ideas of what we're going to do, I actually kind of think because of the journey we've already been on together talking, it's going to be 10 times better than what it would have been. It would have been good. It would have been great. Like people, I don't really recommend, like I don't really market myself. I just work with recommendations mainly. So people like what I do, but I can already tell it's going to be 10 times better because I've got threads of the client's ideal customer and the client's ideal version of his business running through it, as opposed to what I think it should be and what will look amazing. So but no, I don't really feel any pressure or concern. I feel like it will just be a million times better.
Does anybody ever not like what you make them?
This is going to sound really arrogant. Not that I can think of. Most people have. I think everyone's kind of, there's been tweaks, there's always tweaks. And I think some clients there, because maybe they haven't felt involved, they've wanted to tweak to get ownership, because maybe it's been too much of my ideas and not enough of theirs. So in order for them to feel power over it, they've wanted to change something that it probably, if I'd done it a different way, they would have changed it to the other way. Do you know what I mean? So if something had been black, they would have said, I'll make it white, and vice versa. So, but I actually think by doing this and getting them to unpack it and to come up with kind of the ideas and the fireworks themselves, that probably won't happen. They probably will just go. I mean, he's already saying, I'm so excited, this is amazing. And like I said, I haven't given him anything yet. So I feel quite confident that we'll do it. I'll do it really well and do it right, hopefully.
And one more pokey question, because I'm just loving all your answers. What if it turns out that you get to a point and it's like, it's just not, it's not going down the right direction for them.
I mean, the way I'm going to do it, and I haven't actually got that far in the training, so this might be a bit wrong, but I want to kind of maybe pitch 3 different ideas, 3 different concepts, and then let them feedback, and then let that grow. So I don't know if that could be right or wrong. I haven't got that far. But
what if what if I say then, so I'm not really feeling any of these 3 directions. I don't think any of these are quite getting us on target.
Yeah, I'd be like, tell me why. Let's like, tell me more. I love it. Tell me more. I want to hear more. And then let them guide me. That's kind of, and I went through like some of their competitors, and that was really powerful, because he was like, I don't look at my competition. I'm not interested. I just want to focus on me. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, let's look at someone from like a completely different area that, you know, you're never going to cross paths with, but tell me what you love. Tell me what you don't. And when he did that, that was really interesting, because he was like, oh my God. And then so we went through a few different websites, and he just like spoke about what he liked, what he didn't. And then I landed back on his current website, and he was like, oh my God, I thought what we had was really good. Like, I'm seeing it with fresh eyes, because he was so used to seeing just him, and he'd seen lots of different people, good, bad, ugly. And then he went back to his own, and he was like, okay, I know what we need to do now. Like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I was like, okay, cool, great. So I would do the same thing. If I showed him 3 different things, I'd be like, great, tell me more. Because I'm not doing this final reveal, this big ta-da moment, I feel like that's even more exciting. If he can say, well, that's awful, I don't like that, then I'm like, cool, great, wicked, perfect, let's change that. So yeah, so I think I'm like that, cool, tell me more.
I have a final question to you, Joy. Thank you so much for entertaining our questions. We really appreciate it.
No worries. That's okay.
It's like the flip Q&A. It's we ask you questions.
Okay.
I was curious. It sounds like you had a pretty good process going for you previously. What got you interested to want to do brand strategy and make that switch yourself?
Because I felt a bit of an imposter. I felt a bit like I was winging it, and I felt a bit like I was on a bit of a lucky streak, and eventually I was going to be found out, and people are going to go, but you don't actually know what you're doing, right? And I think a lot of my success has been on a bit of luck and a bit of intuition and a lot of creativity, but I actually would like some structure. And I'm always, and this sounds super cheesy, so apologies if anyone's like, who's this cheesy chick that just showed up? But I actually do want to be like 1% better every day, and like that is a big focus of me. So I'm trying to be like, how can I be just a little bit better tomorrow than I am today? And so like doing something like the brand strategy and kind of, I'm like, that's going to make me more than 1% better, so I'm into it. I don't know if that answers your question or not, and I'm sorry if that was really cheesy. Apologies,
yeah, it did. I'm so excited to have you. I'm so excited. And you're speaking my language, so very excited to have you. Yeah, thanks for sharing all that, Joy. Yeah. I appreciate that.
You.
Do you feel at all like an imposter, or like you're on a lucky streak and you're about to get found out now?
There was definitely a bit of fear around that when I started. I was like, I don't know who anyone else is, and I don't know like if I'm like way out of like way behind everyone else. Everyone else is way out of my league. But actually, I understand everything that I'm learning. It all makes complete sense. I'm not sitting there confused going, but why would you do that? I'm like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense. That's better than what I would normally do. Cool. So, and actually like hearing the guy talk today saying, this is the best, like I know my business better now, 2 hours after meeting you, this is amazing. I'm like, you know, I am good at what I do. I'm just sharpening the tools, if that makes sense. I'm just getting better at cutting down the tree faster. I'm just sharpening the axe. So I don't feel too much of an imposter, because I kind of held my own today. But yeah, it all makes sense. So I hope that answers your question.
you know the way, do you mind if I keep drilling you?
That's fine, go for it.
You can tell me if you want me to stop.
I know.
But you know the way you said, I don't know if it's right or wrong because I haven't learned X yet. How might you know if anything's right or wrong?
I just mean there might be a strategy around how to do something later on in the course, because I haven't done all the videos, I haven't done all the learning yet. And so I just mean there might be a really good lesson of going, well, instead of doing this, do this. And I haven't got there yet. So that's all I mean.
Okay, so right or wrong just means what?
Just if someone who knows more than me, i.e. Melinda, like had a better suggestion of how to do something, and I felt like I wing it a lot, like because I'm all self-taught, so I do feel like essentially I'm winging it.
Well, it is interesting language. Like if right equals something no one else knows anything better, and wrong equals someone knows something that's better than what I know. That's very like, did you think that puts quite a bit of pressure on whether we know enough or not? Probably,
yeah. I don't know. I think if I haven't got 100% clarity that I'm doing like the right thing, then there will be doubt. So
okay, well let's buy into that for a sec, right? How might we know that we're doing something right? And presumably we're talking about we're doing work for a client in this imagined space, correct? Right. How might we know if we're doing something right?
They're getting something from it. Like we're both having good ideas. We're both moving forward with a project. We're both coming up with, cool stuff.
And how will we know when that's the case?
I guess we'll both have a good vibe about what we're doing, and the deliverable will be exciting for both of us.
And implicit in all of that is getting getting feedback from the client, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they'll let us know, and we'll make space for them to let us know, right? And then and you've already surfaced what happens if it's wrong, if it's not creating this, excitement and direction and everything. That's just telling us that the direction we're aiming in right now just needs tweaking.
It's just slightly off. Yeah, exactly. We got to go a few degrees different way.
And does that tell us anything about right or wrong and how we think about right or wrong?
Yeah, there's probably not right or wrong. There's probably like good, better, best. It's probably like whatever happens.
Like going from a binary to we'll step it up and put one thing in the middle.
Why not? Why not?
Okay, I like it.
3's the magic number. So yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe there's no like definitive wrong. Maybe there's just like learning and tweaking the journey. Yeah. Interesting.
I do want to bring up all the love, joy that you are getting in the chat right now.
Okay.
So you might want to check that out, because you were saying that I feel like Joy just mastered the boot camp for the first week, and that you're definitely mastered the hot seat. You were just put in the hot seat your very first Q&A. So way to go.
Yeah, I wasn't
being interrogated. So yeah, no one's ever prepared. So yeah, I just want to acknowledge that. Amazing.
And I'm sure we are just super curious, especially because I mean I was just loving your like it's a word we throw out a lot in terms of mindset, right? But I'm just loving the way you think and are processing how you're going about things, and like there's a really healthy mental space you're in, and for the most part, and it sounds like you're treating everything as a learning opportunity and like a grand experiment, and like it's just a lovely mental space to bring with you. And like I think each of us here are kind of like smiling to ourselves on the inside when you're like, I've just started, I've no idea, everything that's to be learned, etc. And I guarantee like everyone here, the only thing we really like kind of concentrate on learning is a healthy mindset, because everything else just becomes growth and fun for the rest of our lives then. And I don't know, I think we love what we're hearing, and I know I do. And I can't wait. I'm really excited to see how you progress in your sense of confidence and progressing through imposter syndrome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, that's in answer to your question, Melinda, that is why I signed up to it, because I kind of been doing this stuff, but kind of like felt like I was playing the game, but didn't really have the rules. So like kind of trying to figure it out a little bit as I go, but actually having some rules and some guidance, not rules, but just some guidance and some really good ideas and really good advice of going, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this. And actually I went into it I'd made notes on like all the good stuff I'd been learning. And just before I sat down with my client this morning, sorry, I'm taking over this whole thing, sorry.
We love it, keep going.
Okay. Just before I sat down with him, I literally read through all of my notes, which was like 10 pages. And then I literally put them away. And then I just did it. And so it was all kind of like bubbling at the top of my head, but I wasn't lost in like, I don't know, some people I think would be the kind of people that would do like post-it notes everywhere, like with like loads of directions and remember to say, and I didn't want to do any of that because I didn't want to get lost in the distraction. But I just read it. It was like the top of my mind. And then I went with it. And I probably forgot some things and I probably didn't do everything I intended to do. But what we got out of it, I mean, when I finished, I was literally like jumping around the living room, like going like, holy hell, that was cool. Like, whoa, that was amazing. Like, and straight away he messaged me going, my mind is blown. That was amazing. And I was like, I didn't do anything. This is awesome. So yeah, so that was cool.
Whether there is or isn't, I see like a flip even in that one thing you said there, in terms of like, it's easy to kind of put pressure on ourselves to learn all the things and, you know our right from wrong and get all the knowledge. But like you said it yourself, that the most powerful aspect of that wonderful conversation with that person was listening and asking questions, which isn't about stuff we know, it's about what we don't know and leaning into that, our curiosity, right?
And sitting there and not feeling like I had to be the smart aleck in the room was actually really like, I had so much more energy to listen because I didn't feel like I had to prove anything, if that makes sense. I didn't have to prove anything, like, let me tell you how clever I am, let me wow you with this and that. And I don't know if I would necessarily, like, I suppose I would, if I'm super honest. At some point I would want them to sit there and go, she's really smart, like, wow, and I didn't go with that energy today at all. I didn't go with that, I need to prove that I'm the smartest person in the room. I just went with, I want to be the best listener in the room. And that was a massive shift, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's helpful to anyone, but it made a massive difference to me.